Hey guys, DJ here. Just wanted to record this real quick and kind of explain a bit of a delay in this and apologize because Lane and I very much so love all the support that we've got on the channel and try to keep up with everything. Uh, for the past week, I've really been feeling not so good. And while recording this battle report, it hit me hard. Something wasn't right, went to the doctors, and got diagnosed with diverticulitis. The positive thing is, caught it early, so nothing severe, but it is definitely taking its toll on me. It was taking my toll Monday night while we're recording the game. So anyone who says 40K is not physical, you need to be you need to be prepared to be standing on your feet for a while. And I will keep that one wholeheartedly to my chest of saying be prepared for being on your feet for a while. And I didn't know that I was that messed up. So I just wanted to record this. This is not a sympathy trip by any means. I know there'll be some people who say, hey, get better, get rest and that stuff. And you know what? I do appreciate it. But this is more just as an apology because we absolutely love all you guys out there, all the support, especially with Imperial agents. Death Watch, we'll be seeing them soon. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be playing Necrons again next week. But this is just a sincere apology for me that I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get this video out on time. A couple times in the past, little things might have gotten in the way. This one was a big one. But here we go. And onto the video, Imperial Agents versus the Kroot.
Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And we're here to bring you another Warhammer 40K Battle Report. This one that I have so poetically, creatively come up totally on my own from nowhere else. The Imperium Strikes Back, Episode 5. Completely original.
That sounds totally fresh to me.
Totally fresh. All right. So first, I'm in a good mood. Happy off of a Steelers win. And for that, there's got to be a Steelers player out there that watches our channel. In my belief, there is one person that plays for the Steelers, maybe on the bench, maybe the water, whichever.
Wait, you're hoping that a person that plays for the Steelers watches our channel?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Listen, there's people in the WWE that play Warhammer, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just saying. Shout out to Shayna Baszler if she's watching. But seriously,
yeah,
she comes out in ring gear that was actually illustrating the Horus Heresy that no one would have recognized except a 40K nerd. And then she makes a comment to it that she's like, yes, I dressed this attire, then the black, like she went through all of Horus's different schemes all the way into Black Legion.
That sounds kind of nerdy to me.
Oh, it's hello. Hi, what are we doing here?
No, I'm just kidding. It's the correct amount of nerdy.
Exactly. But Steelers, man, awesome game. Great seeing Russell Wilson out there. I think Justin Fields is the future of the organization. But right now, he needs to break that confidence and actually throw the long ball. And, man, Beanie Bishop, man, kudos to you. Great feather in your cap, picking Aaron Rodgers off twice. Awesome. Lane totally knows everything I'm talking about.
Okay, now that we've talked about wrestling and football, can we please talk about Warhammer?
I guess we could do that.
Thank you.
Today, Lane's bringing the Kroot.
I'm bringing the Kroot. I think it's been like 2 months since I had my Kroot on for the first time. So I haven't had a whole lot more practice with them. I think this will be my 4th game ever with them, but they're a lot of fun. And in the recent points update, my list went down almost 200 points. So I was able to add in 10 of the new Vespid Stingwings, plus another character and an enhancement. I'm still under 2,000. So excited to be playing them. And
I will be running the exact same Imperium list that I ran last week. I had good success with it. I feel like we finally have this dialed in to where it functions really well. Being able to do all the aspects and take advantage of it. And we actually had a very strong shooting phase last game. Where we were actually able to push through that cap of, oh, we just score secondaries to, hey, wait, here's some damage. So, and as you know, as I said, I'm considering taking this in November. I personally think that the Kroot are competitive. As I was saying to Lane earlier, I think the biggest issue the Kroot face is the disruption build that they have that is super strong for them is a lot, like you said, a lot of models and very time consuming. And what's going to beat you up is the time. Where other armies...
Well, also close combat armies are really going to beat me up.
Physically, yes. Okay. But realistically, you have 147 models.
I do.
in the comment section, is there anything else? I mean, legitimately competitive. Not, well, here's the maximum models. I am curious, though, actually, that too. I'm curious to answer this question twice. First, is there anything competitive that puts out more than 147 models? Like, legitimately. Maybe Dark Eldar, but I don't feel like that's even up there totally that much.
Yeah, the Kroot carnivores, the basic troops went down, so it's only 65 points for 10.
That's really
so
hard to
you
beat.
can get 130 points for 20, and they're battle line.
Yeah.
So I can bring 6 of those. So that is only 780 points for 120 models.
I feel like
silly.
I feel like Guard would get close to that, but then when you start purchasing the big tanks, that would probably offset it a bit.
Yeah.
So maybe Guard get close to it. But then my second answer to the question, what is the biggest army of models that you could actually legally play? What is the model count of a 2,000 point list that is the biggest one you could play? Let us know in the comment section. I'm very curious on that one. What's the most we can get to? Probably something with orcs, I'm thinking. I'm feeling.
But, yeah, maybe orcs. Grots are super cheap, so you can start off with a bunch of cheap grots.
But yes, so we've talked a lot about this. This matchup in preparation for tournament, I'm happy to see because this shows me what I'm able to do into a Horde matchup, where shotguns have been medium at best going into T4 and terrible into T5, are actually better in this scenario for shooting into these units. The constant stealth is going to be a threat. But as you mentioned, combat, I can do some work in combat. And one thing that could actually start just moving across the table and wrecking house, Eversor Assassin and the Deathwatch Kill Team. And so how do you feel about those two?
Fine. I've got so many models that the Eversor, I mean, he'll kill.
Takes out a 10-man, gets shot.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that one.
I mean, that's what's going to happen because he has only 4 wounds. And then the Deathwatch, same thing. Like, they can come out and wreck a squad, but then I do have a fair amount of things that can return fire. So it's really just going to depend on how well we both of us play and control the engagements, because I think we both have the ability to direct each other pretty hard.
Yeah, and there's, I mean, the Deathwatch Kill Team probably is the heaviest hit of units that I have, especially because you are Xenos. But, you know, a lot of the other stuff, the Breachers, even the Subductors. Got it right.
And you did it.
The Subductors actually hit hard in this matchup, being strength 4, AP 1.
Yeah, they'll do some damage.
It's going to be interesting.
Because the only save my Kroot have in combat is just a 6-up invuln. So that's it. You don't have to worry about too much armor.
And for the record, after we talk about the armies, we're going to jump right over to the dice roll, since we kind of talked about everything that we normally would talk about after that point of the video, including wrestling and football. So after we talk about the armies, we'll jump right into the roll, because we have a massive opening battle round, because we both have infiltrators, we both have redeploys.
My entire army has a 7-inch scout move, like almost every unit.
So it's like we might as well not even pick a deployment map. Just put models on the table. This is where they go. But all right, Lane, let's take a look at the Kroot and see what you're bringing today.
All right. So if you want more detail on all these units and their special abilities, please check out DJ and I have done army-specific videos, so please check those out. But this is just a quick rundown of this Kroot hunting pack army. It's 1,985 points. I do have 1 Tau unit here. I do have 1 Ethereal. I have 3 Kroot Flesh Shapers, one of which has the Borthrod Gland enhancement. I've got 2 Kroot Lone Spears, one of which has the Kroot Hawk Flock. I have a Kroot Trail Shaper and 2 Kroot War Shapers, one of which does have the root carved weapons. As for battle line, I have 70 of the carnivores, so that's 3 20-man squads and a 10-man. We've got 2 squads of the Kroot Farstalkers. These are the infiltrators. 3 5-mans of the Kroot Hounds. We've got 3 3-mans of the Krootox Rampagers, the close combat ones, and then 3 3-mans of the Krootox Riders, the ones with the guns. And then we've got 1 10-man of the Vespid Stingwings. DJ, what are you bringing today?
All right, here it is, round 5 with the Imperium agents. So for this army, start at the top, give a little neck crack here. Here we go. We have 3 10-man squads of Breachers, 2 10-man squads of Subductors. They also are joined by a dog. That's why I said a 10-man squad plus 1 dog, Cyber Mastiff. He's the goodest boy. We have 10 Deathwatch Kill Team, one Watchmaster leading them. Draxus, Rogue Trader Entourage, and the Inquisitor will be going in with a squad of Breachers. We have 3 Rhinos, 2 of which will have Breachers in them. 1 will have the kill team with the Watchmaster. We have, what's his name? Watchmaster Artemis, 65 points of scoring secondaries. A Navigator to zone out some of that pesky deep strike. 3 of the squads of Voidsmen at Arms. 2 Helverins, and of course, we're bringing 2 Assassins. And those Assassins will be, in the list is Vindicare and Calidus, say that. The Calidus will stay, and we're going to bring the Eversor, because infantry. Infantry.
I've got lots of characters and lots of infantry, so those are the 2 ones you should take.
Yeah, well, we talked about the Vindicare. But it comes down to the fact that your one character that I would want to hit can shoot and scoot. So it's not really worth it there. And Calidus has a pretty nasty flamer. And again, like you said, the characters, to be able to hit and take out your feel no pain before I hit with something else could be good. Or, in that aspect. So there's a lot of good little bit of play there. All right, I've talked enough. I'll call it. I'll take my fault. I've talked enough. Lane, odd or even? This is important.
Even. Oh, it's an even. We both have infiltrators.
Right. So Lane will let me deploy first.
I will be dropping first. Stop it. Me first.
And we'll be back after deployment. All right. We are deployed. Lane, tell us what we are doing here today.
We are playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. Our deployment today is Search and Destroy. We're in the corners. A little easier to tell with mine than DJ's, because I definitely filled up my corner. And we both do have some infiltrating units here.
It's almost like we're playing Dawn of War.
Yeah. Our mission special rule is Fog of War, so everybody gets cover turn 1, and nobody can use core stratagems turn 1. So we've got that. And then our mission today is basically some vanilla Warhammer. We're playing Take and Hold, so we get 5 points for each objective. We control up to 15 points. That's it.
Yeah, very simple, 5, 10, 15. And something that I did notice in the data sheets that we want to talk about as far as scoring primary, in case people didn't notice, Linchpin has now changed. Linchpin now has a cap of 15 points. So no more crazy final turns from that one.
There have been multiple times when I've scored 23 in the last at the end of the game in Linchpin. So I'm sad to see it go.
I remember the first time that I ever did that and scored it, I was like, there's no cap. Okay, so I guess I win.
It's called winning more.
Yeah. All right. So as far as deployment goes, Lane, look at how good of a teacher I am.
Oh, I can be taught. So we do have a Farstalker unit here with the attached Trail Shaper. So that's 13 models that I stretched out. I won the roll off for deploying first. I infiltrated and blocked DJ out.
And this is what I was talking about. As some people asked on the channel, asked how to do this. This is the triangle I talk about. So these 2 models here in the 2 models here in the back are within 2 inches of each other, and they're both within 2 inches of this one. And then you can just start stretching out. And then each one of these models in the middle, like this guy, is 2 inches from one model here and one model there. And we take it all the way down and make another triangle down there. So that's how you make that super, super long line.
Now this would be really dangerous because if DJ killed one model, then during the unit coherency step, it would basically wipe the whole squad. Yeah, but I have a redeploy as well. So I have the ability to redeploy this unit and one other. So when I redeploy, they will be in a much more defensively squished together unit.
And I highly recommend, if you're going to do something like this, get a template that has a 2-inch measuring coherency side. It makes it super nice, super easy. Okay. Deployment. So on the infiltrating side of things, this is not my deployment zone. So I infiltrated both of the squads of Subductors and one Breacher squad with the Rogue Traders attached. We also have the Calidus and Artemis over here, so I'm trying to fortify this position. I have to have some stuff on objectives early, or I'm not going to be able to hold them because Lane does have 147 models. We then positioned a Halverin to give us some shooting going in there. There's a nice firing lane to go into some of those big oxy dudes. And then we have our Death Watch kill team back here, right on the table, right on the deployment edge, to be able to spring out there at either one of these objectives as the game sees fit. Then we have both Inquisitors, Draxus, and Regular. with a navigator in these rhinos with breachers to be able to play onto either one of these objectives. As well, back here, we have a Helverin. And this Helverin is going to be able to move and draw firing lanes. So I like these 2 lanes on both sides of this building here to be able to go down this way and support, or move over here and support if we're able to get some ground. Right now, there's just a 10-man there. As Lane mentioned, that one squad's going to be leaving the center, so it will depend on that. If we go first and it's just a 10-man, that's pretty easy pickup, but later on, there is a lot that Lane has to bring over the table. Okay, now, Lane, let's talk about your bring over the table.
Well, I had to squeeze everything on here. It's a lot of models. The only thing I have in reserve is one, the 10-man of the Vespids. We're going to be able to deep strike later. So everybody else is...
I'm sorry, I have 3 Voidsmen in deep strike.
No, of course. Yeah, so we've got the only or the only, I guess, Tau unit. We got the Kroot Ethereal here. The Ethereal is going to be hopefully generating some command points and blocking out deep strike a little bit. Other than that, we just piled everything onto the table here. I'm not going to go through every unit. Other than we did infiltrate with 2 units of the Farstalkers, the big one stretched out, and this one here. And again, I'll be able to redeploy those 2 units with the Trail Shaper.
Okay, so first we have to do redeploys. Who goes first with redeploys?
I think we roll off.
Okay, so first let's roll off and see who's going to redeploy first. I got a 5. So
you redeploy first, or you win the roll off? I guess.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see how that works out, and then I have to do 2 D3, or I'm sorry, D3, and it's still just 1 battle line unit.
Oh.
All right, so let's get these redeploys done, and give us a second for that and some scout moves. So we looked it up, and it's the attacker who goes first, so I am technically the attacker. So I picked up the rogue traders. I thought about it a bit. I put them down there just to burn a drop, making Lane have to drop more, and I brought them back here. So they're a little more protected. I feel like I need those resources, and I don't want to accidentally get a bad lane and lose them early. Because if I lose like 1 or 2, yeah, I can resurrect them, but if I start losing 5, that's when we start struggling. Lane picked his big squad up in the middle, moved it here, 9 inches away from my guys as well as my deployment zone. And these guys went around back. So now we need to determine who is going first for scout moves and everything else.
And the actual game. Oh,
6.
That's me. I'm going first. All right.
So Lane will go first. We both have scout moves. I have the Eversor, and Lane has his entire army, which we'll touch base on. Let's go ahead and do those, and then we'll touch base on that real quick, and then we'll start the game. So mine was easy. There was an Eversor assassin here, and now he's over there. As far as Lane, we'll zoom out as Lane did. He just kind of spread his whole army out. The scout movie does have to stay 9 inches away from enemy models. So over here, we did cause a little bit of a traffic jam, slowing stuff up a bit. It just means that he won't be able to engage with as much as he probably would like on the first turn, but still definitely be able to bring some weapons to the forefront. So, all right, that's it. Lane did roll higher, so he will go first. And just like that, it's time to play the game.
Turn 1, we pull Secure No Man's Land and Assassination. So we're going to try. It's going to be tricky. We might be able to get Artemis here. If we do kill him, even if he pops back up, we still get the Assassinate. So if we knock him down once, that's all it'll take. Other than that, we're putting doggos on midfield objectives because I don't want to give all those breachers rerolls, full rerolls to wound against my other units. And as long as the dogs are within 12 inches of a character, boop, we'll get one right there, then they have OC1, so they do control the objectives. And then we're just going to try and go in here and see if we can kill some of these guys. Should be able to kill these ones in here. These subductors, these ones, it'll be a little trickier too. I don't think we're going to wipe that squad, but we'll at least charge into them and have a good time. All right, time to do a little shooting. Shooting phase to start with, I blasted all of these guys and all of these guys into this rhino, and we took 2 wounds off of it.
And I'll heal 1 back.
Yeah, the autocannons didn't really do a whole lot. So, and then we just did a whole bunch of shooting here. So we tagged Artemis with the Farstalker, so we get full rerolls to hit into him. One autocannon did get through and got him down to 2, so I'm going to see if I can make a charge with these guys to finish him off. And then we're going to try and charge into these guys, see if we can do some work there. The other Farstalker tagged the Subductors that were inside here and just took a whole lot of shooting from all these guys to eventually kill that squad. DJ did spend a CP to do the counter move thing. He tried to block out and protect Artemis from the charge. But with all the shooting, I was eventually able to get through. It took a lot of shots, though, because they were all making all their 3-ups. But on to
Charges.
All right, so we killed Artemis. Oh, no, he's come back. He comes back with 1 wound. I do still get Assassinate because they clarified, GW, that if you kill something that comes back, you still get credit for killing it. And that's it. That's it, really. I mean, we killed about 3 of these Subductors. They're just making a lot of 3-up saves. And I rolled kind of bad on my hits there. Other than that, we are securing no man's land with the dogs that are within 12 inches of characters. So that's it. When I pulled my casualties on these Farstalkers, I made sure to get them off the objective so that if breachers come out, they're not getting full wound rolls into me. Into that. So anyways, on to DJ's turn.
So the name of my turn 1 is Extend Battle Lines and Overwhelming Force. So Lane has given me some units on objective markers. These dogs and those dogs, those cheap units for him may be major points for me. And then Extend Battle Lines is super easy. Grab one there or there. And I already ran back with my Navigator and grabbed home. Otherwise, we did pick up the Calidus. I'm forfeiting this flank when I'm going to do some damage on the way out. And that's why I moved the Armiger up here, because I know that this is actually going to be something tough for him to completely clear through. These guys can do some good damage, and they can punch as well. But I have a high toughness, so hopefully my resolve will help keep him alive a little bit longer and just tougher than Lane wants to have to deal with over there to clear it, especially with it being an objective secured 8 unit. Left these guys in combat. They have pistols, so hopefully they actually could possibly win this out over here. And Artemis stood still. I don't want him to get Overwatch. He's going to try and burn these guys and then probably just charge in and die, but maybe he'll take 1 or 2 in the process of everything if his Flamer does well. Otherwise, we left the kill team in their Rhino, and we moved these Breachers back. We're going to save them for a little later. If I move them up, they can get in range of these guys, but then they're just going to get taken off the table by the 20-man brick. I'd rather hit the 20-man first if that's possible. In other news, this Rhino still has an Inquisitor inside. We moved, and the squad inside. We moved up. We're going to use that fire point to do a bit of damage and try and pick up some of these doggos. And for overwhelming force. The Eversor Assassin went Super Saiyan mode, and he's moving up there, and he's going to charge into the 20-man brick and try and beat them up. And then we moved up a whole bunch of other stuff with the Breachers and everything, so we can finish off the dogs, charge into the dogs, shoot at the 10-man, and we're just going to try and pick up as much as we can over here that turn. To help us also, we did pick up the Calidus, and that's where she came back. So she's also able to put a Flamer in there as well. We brought this Helverin back over here to shoot, and that's about it. All right, we got a lot of shooting to do, so let's see how this all goes. Not a bad shooting phase, not bad at all. So these guys, we did give this squad +1 to hit against them, trying to get those pistols to hit. Unfortunately, did not. So hopefully combat will be our better place to do some damage over there. Artemis, now he has had 3 shooting phases and had a combined total of 4 shots. Oh, Artie. Then over here, now this Helverin, as well as this Helverin, did very, very good. So first, this Helverin targeted some Krootoks over here, which we'll talk about what happened to them in a minute. Lane spent the command point to make me unable to target them outside of 18. So then both of the Helverins went into this squad. And as you can see, there is only 1 remaining. So actually, even with the cover and 6 wounds and everything, they did really, really well in picking up almost that entire squad. Same over here. The Inquisitor and the heavy shotgun were the weapons I elected to shoot, as well as just the bolter from the Rhino. Took out the hounds that were on this objective. So we have engaged on all fronts. That's a good start. We just and 1 for overwhelming force. We'll probably charge these guys just so we can start doing some damage and try and get them off the table because every model counts in this matchup. Over here, we did fire a Hunter Killer from this one. It missed. But the Hunter Killer from here hit home and picked up one of the 2 Kroot from these 3-man squads. So we got rid of one of them. Almost took out the Feel No Pain from the 20-man brick, just on the precision from the assassin alone, rolling 2 6s. It turned 4 shots into 7 hits. That's how that works. Or I think it was like 4 shots in. I don't remember. We did roll 2 6s, so we got 6 additional hits. So it was nuts. And then the Breachers with Draxus nearly picked up the entire 10-man here. There's just 2 little dudes left over there with the help from the Calidus, and did a little bit of damage into these Houndos just so we can make sure to finish them off for overwhelming force. So we did a little split firing in there. All right, all that's left is to do some charges and try and finish off some units and just pick up some extra ground. Artemis may not be shooting well, but he can still smack. And he picked up the majority of this squad over here, and then the Subductors were able to finish him off. We lost 1 in the process, but that dude still fought on death to be able to avenge himself, not to go out with glory. Over here, we charged because, we have the Inquisitor in there, so we needed to drive closer so he could hit him with a sword. And he picked up 1, so we got 1 of them. Then they turned around and smacked us back, but no damage. It's a Rhino. Over here, the Eversor was able to pick up 8 on the charge. Nearly half of the squad, plus the characters were really beaten up. It could have went into the precision, probably should have, just to finish off that character, but we'll get him. We'll get him next. We'll get him next round. And then the Rhino charged in against the dogs with the Breachers. The Breachers fought first, took out the dogs, and then the Rhino was able to still pile in. So we're making a nice little shield over here. Calidus was unsuccessful on her 11 or 10-inch charge that she needed. But hey, those are dice. So that is pretty much it. We hit extend battle lines and overwhelming force for a 10-point turn. And we're going to kick it back over to Lane and his turn too.
This turn, I am trying to overwhelm forces and contain. So we just scooched forward here. Ready to do a little bit of work. I'm going to use this Lone Spear to contain here. I forgot to move these guys. Yeah, we're just going to do this with them.
See, and now you get to see a moving phase. Hey.
And we moved some. And then we scooched out here. These 2 guys failed their battle shock, so they won't be able to contain, so they just moved up here. We scooched these guys back a little bit, spent 1 CP for them to fall back, shoot, and charge. They get overwatched. Got a few wounds through, but I made a few 6-up Feel No Pains with the character there, so lost, I think, 2 of them in that. And then Vespids came in here. We're going to try and make this Calidus go away. Don't like her at all. Do some shooting. Not a whole lot happened in the shooting phase. Picked up some of these guys, a couple of them. They're always a lot harder to kill than they should be for 85 points.
But the dog's still alive.
Dog is still alive. Such a proud boy. Then we took a couple wounds off of this with grenades and then some autocannon shooting.
Somehow Artemis survived.
Yeah, I shot a bunch of shots at Artemis, but didn't get anywhere there. So not a whole lot happening over there. Here, Vespids picked up the Lady Calidus, and then we just put a bunch of shots in here and picked up most of this Breacher squad. Now it's going to be time to do it with charging. So we got overwhelming force. We're trying to kill things that are on objectives. Stuff happened in the fight phase. So these Kroot riders managed to pick up the rest of the Subductors there. They swing pretty good in combat still. Not quite as good as the Rampagers, but they still punch pretty good. Rampager came in here, failed to do any mortals, but did a couple wounds. And then these guys, I spent the CP to do the extra AP, and they swung in and managed to pick up the Helvrin in combat, thus charging them up to a 5-up Feel No Pain now, and the Helvrin did explode. So he took some wounds around here, but notably Artemis, who did not get charged, he only had 1 wound left, so he got picked up from the explosion. So that was productive. And over here, Doggo's still alive.
Took another one down.
Took one down. Oh, they get to swing now. Oh, you better watch out. That Rhino's in trouble. And over here, we picked up Kyria Draxus' squad and failed to kill the Eversor. But the Eversor swung back into my guys and failed to do any wounds because he is anti-infantry, but these guys are T6 mounted. So, DJ spent a CP on the reroll, a save there to keep him alive. But these guys didn't do so, kind of a stalemate there. But we did get our 2 kills on objectives for overwhelming force, and we are containing with him and these guys. So we got containment as well. On to DJ's turn.
Assassinated mark for death are what I'm looking at for this turn. So the mark for death targets are, can't deep strike within 12, and he has lone op, and character hiding in the back. So not really going to be able to do that. That's okay. Assassinate, there's a couple characters floating out in units, so I just need to make sure I pick up a unit. Kill team disembarked, and they're going to go rushing in here. So if they wipe out that squad, there's a character in there, so there's the points. This squad of breachers moved up with the rogue trader entourage. Some of them can make it to shoot the squad in the back, and the others are going to try and finish off the doggos that the rhino fell back from and just put itself up against the wall to kind of turn itself into a piece of terrain and a wall. Then over here, we also can charge and try and pick up him as well. The rhino then backed up to the objective marker. We tried to advance to get in range with the navigator for his ability, but we're unable to, so he just moved up. We did bring down 2 Voidsman squad. One of the Voidsmen are able to shoot at the Vesphids that are also able to be shot at by the Helverin. And the other squad will most likely shoot onto the center, and we'll see what we can do there. We did fall back with the Eversor Assassin. And then we fell back with the Rhino too, and just moved against the wall. Breachers disembarked from the Rhino, and they moved up. So they're able to kind of put some damage onto these guys, charge them, shoot at these guys, the whole kit and caboodle. All right, well, that is it for my movement. Let's do some shooting. Okay, kind of wonky shooting phase, and I think it was mostly because I failed to get the command point back over here. Tried to throw grenades to maybe pick one up. Did 3 damage, but then rolled a 1 for the CP regen, so I did not get the command point back. Was not able to fully pick up this squad with the shooting that I brought to bear on them. There's still 2, 4, 5 guys and a character in there.
Oh, this is 2 separate squads. That's a 2-man squad that's battle shocked. And then 3 guys with a character. I can get this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Out of here.
That's fair. All right, so there's 3 guys with a character. It's kind of going to be a long charge. I'll have to think about that one if I want to try and shoot over there, because we do have these guys in the way. Voidsman didn't do too much work into there or into these guys. We are going to charge the Helverin, and there we got 6 of the Vesphids left, so I at least want to be in combat with them to try to let them not jump off the table. And then since we don't have the command point, we're not going to be able to get the sustain this turn, sadly. We did pick up the Kroot Ox Rampager, so we will be able to just fully charge in here and put the complete and total devastation of the Death Watch to bear on them. Rerolling hits should really, really help to be able to land some damage, especially with the hammers, so that 5-up Feel No Pain is going to be really tougher to survive through there. Otherwise, we did try to shoot down the dogs, and that was just terrible.
Dog's so strong!
Terrible shooting. I missed with everything. So now it's time to make some charging decisions and see what we can't pick up. So we were successful. Rogue Trader Entourage hit a little bit, just picked on a couple guys, and was actually necessary because we would not have gotten through to the characters otherwise. And then the Death Watch kill team just shredded everything like a blender, leaving 1 character on 1 wound, but gaining Assassinate.
To be fair, they survived quite a bit.
They did. The Feel No Pain really helped.
Both those squads, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said it did. The Rogue Traders really were necessary there.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, Lane Heroic Intervention with his big Kroot Ox Riders into me. We did complete the charge, and we still did pick up the squad, so we also got a character assassination over here as well, picking up and finishing off that squad. And we finished off one of the Kroot Riders, only losing 2 breachers in return. And then we did charge, because I don't want the Vespid to leave the table, so we did charge over here. We did not lose anyone in return, and after shooting, charging, and everything else, we have the Vespids down to only 4 models, which is a positive, so they're getting they're getting pretty beat up. So that's a good thing. So we pitched Mark for death. I didn't want to keep it. And we'll get the point. Let's get an extra command point that we got back there. And we did score the assassinate. We're going to kick it over to Lane in his turn 3.
This turn, we got extended battle lines and behind enemy lines. So I auto-passed the battle shock for the Vespids, and then they fell back over here so that they can get me behind enemy lines. And then I just have to control objectives in the middle of the table. So we're just kind of pushing everything up because DJs have most everything on the table now. So I feel like we can probably kill most of the stuff that needs killing. There will be some stuff surviving over here, but I feel like when I don't kill here, I'll be able to kind of control the rest of the board. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Dice be dicing today, guys. So I'm going to do some shooting. So shooting. We shot the Eversor Assassin, who exploded because Eversors do blow up, and he picked up my last 2 guys that killed him, 2 remaining Kroot from that carnivore squad, and then picked up 3 of this squad of breachers. A little bit of shooting into the Rhino. He's down to 4. And then did some blasting here into the Death Watch squad. Got some damage through. DJ did spend 1 CP on the...
Or up invul and move away.
Yep. We don't know the actual name, but that's what it does.
That's what it does.
So they moved away, making charges harder for me. But we do at least control that objective now. So, yeah, now it's time to charge a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, fighting here. So we were able to pile in here because we had gotten this Rhino down below half strength. We were getting +1 to wound into him. So these 2 characters that are attached to the squad and 10 of the carnivores here punched in and picked up the Rhino. And these 10 carnivores picked up most of the breacher squad, and then the 2 Krootoks that charged cleared up the rest of the character. And then over here, so we charged in with the Krootoks riders, and DJ Heroic intervened and brought the Death Watch in there, and I also charged in with the long spear here. These guys failed to make the charge because DJ had moved the Death Watch away in the shooting phase, so I wasn't able to make the charge there, but we were able to pick up the rest of the Death Watch squad, just leaving the Watchmaster there, although DJ does pile in and fight a little bit and didn't really kill anything, did a couple wounds, but he does take that objective. So I do score behind enemy lines for 3 and extend battle lines for 5. It gives me 8, and on to DJ's turn.
All right, so behind enemy lines and storm hostile objective is what we're trying to do this turn. So we brought the last Voidsman back in over here for behind enemy lines. And I'll just take some shots over here. Stayed in combat over here, so we're going to try and clear out what we're in combat with and prepare for the Rampagers to come in. And then we did fall back with this Rhino, and we're bringing a Rhino in with some more Voidsmen to try to see if we can't hopefully clear some room on this center objective. Now, for storm hostile objectives, we took the Helverin and brought it around with its big OC8, so we'll be able to take that, and we're just going to try and shoot down some of the Krootoks riders that are hanging out there. And to take care of these Vespid, we got the Voidsmen are moving back, as well as our Navigator is going to try and scare them. He's going to say boo at them. So that's what we're looking at to try to clear some stuff up and see how this goes. Shooting time. So the whole turn kind of went like this. Over here in combat, we shot our pistols, and in combat we finished off the 2 Krootoks riders and put this guy down to 1 wound. Over in the middle, we shot and picked up another one of the Krootoks with a Hunter Killer Missile, the last one from this Rhino that had the Death Watch in it. And then we charged in and squished the last of the dogs, taking the objective away. And then, as stated over here, we moved up, and we just had this objective for overwhelming force as it was, just to be safe with our OC8. And we did pick up another squad of the Krootoks riders. Voidsmen at Arms through the behind enemy lines picked up 2 from this squad. And then we finished off the Vespids, mostly thanks to the Navigator. They failed their battle shock, so flat 3 mortals, put them down to 1. And then the Gatling cannon there rolled 4 6s, which were lethal and sustained. So that was the last one got pasted pretty good. So we did get overwhelming force and behind enemy lines. We're going to kick it over to Lane in his turn 4.
Turn 4, I only got 5 on primaries, but I pulled engage on all fronts and no prisoners. I'll probably just get baby engage here, but we're going to try to take no prisoners and kill some things. Maybe kill these guys. Maybe kill this rhino. Maybe kill these voidsmen. Maybe kill these breachers. We're going to do some killing. I did fall back with my lone spear, who was battle shocked. He survived the battle shock, desperate breakout roll, but then DJ overwatched him off the table. So said, I got one more lone spear here. He's going to avenge his brother. I'll do a little shooting. Just rolling the shooting phase and the fight phase in here. So I did a little bit of shooting into the breachers, then charged in with the rampagers. All 4 of them did their impact mortals, but all 4 of them rolled a 1 on their D3 mortals. So, but still helped us chew through the breacher squad. There's one character left from that squad. Is that the rogue trader herself?
No, that is the medic, so I can heal D3 of those guys back.
Okay. And then over here, we have... we wrecked most of the voidsmen here in shooting, charged in, did some work to the rhino. He's down to 5 wounds. Over here, I moved into so I could charge this squad into the Helvrin. Guess what? I needed a 3, and I rolled a 2, and then I CP re-rolled another 2. So I rolled a 2 into a 2 and failed this 3-inch charge. These guys came in, just did a couple bonks, and we got Helvrin down to 8. So... yeah, that's and we finished these voidsmen off with the squad here. So no prisoners, definitely killed at least 3 units, and engaged all fronts. I got baby engaged, so we got 7 points this turn. On to DJ.
Not a heavy damage dealing turn, so we're just rolling through it because we're getting close to the end. So I got aggressive in here. I shot, I threw grenades, I did everything. We got us down to 1 Kroot Ox Rider, charged in and got the Rogue Trader smack back, so back to the healer, and the Watchmaster's still alive hanging out over here. We use our ability to increase our OC on this objective and give us a 5-up invuln. So because the Voidsman is OC too, we were able to take this objective, score a little extra on primary, and get baby secure in no man's land. And then unfortunately, we moved the Voidsman up. They got overwatched. This little doggy survived. He used the doggy model and was obliterated in return. Helverin's still there on the objective marker, fighting the good fight, but he's getting weaker and weaker by the second. So that was the turn. We did not kill any units for no prisoners, so I'm going to pitch that to get a command point and hand it over to Lane in turn 5.
Last turn, I pulled area denial and marked for death. I got 15 on primaries. I did pull established locust, but I spent a CP to cycle out a mark for death. And so we just played through the whole turn here, guys, just kind of wrapping things up. So I threw a grenade and shot the last voidsman away, threw a grenade and got the rhino down to 2. And when these 2 guys charged in, the Kroot Rampagers charged in and did the 2 impact mortals to pick up the rhino. Over here, we charged in, did impact mortals from this Kroot Rider to pick up the Watchmaster, and then picked up the last of the Rogue Trader entourage in combat. Over here, these guys charged in just to make sure we have the objective. All the fighting in here, we got this Helvrin down to 1 wound, but he did not die, so he is still alive, although we do take that objective. So I scored 10 for area denial, mark for death, because the rhino was one of my mark for death things. Mark for death is tough at the end of the game because sometimes you can't really pick sneaky secondary. So that's it for my turn. On to DJ.
All right, so the final agent turn, obviously I don't have very much left on the field. We did get Defense Stronghold as one of our secondaries, so Navigator will score that for us. But we'll only get the 5 on primary, and just out of spite, I fell back with the Helvrin, so he lives. So not quite what I wanted to see with some of it. Some of the crew caught me off guard with some of the stuff that I wasn't fully ready into. I think I overextended a bit and tried to cover too much of the board and kind of tripped all over myself. We'll talk about that in the post game. Final score, the Kroot walk away with a victory with 90 to an Imperial agent 65. All right.
67.
67. I am exhausted. This is one of the issues I say with Kroot is that this army, the amount of time, this is an army that was going to get called on time a lot A lot. So many models. My feet hurt, my back hurt, my brain hurts. Follow us over to the post game, and we'll, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.